guys, Tab here. Hope you're all keeping well. Yes, it is video time again, and as promised, I wanted to bring you some more content on the Taycan that is hopefully informative to you if you're in the market for one of these things, or indeed if you've just picked one up. The topic for this video is going to be all about the Smart Lift, which is a really cool feature available on this car. And yes, there are other videos out there on YouTube that cover this, but I think they're missing some very important points that should help you whilst you're out and about on the roads. Some things you need to bear in mind. Now, what is the Smart Lift? Well, the Smart Lift is essentially a feature available on Taycans with the air suspension that will remember previous positions where you've enabled that Smart Lift and then automatically do it next time you get there, which is pretty handy. For example, if you're getting home to your driveway and you need to do it to raise the front up there. Some things to note. The air suspension is pretty much available on every Taycan model that is out there, except the base Taycan. It comes with a fixed steel spring ride height. Now, that is about $75,000 in the UK price spec. If you are getting one of those, my advice to you would be to spec the air suspension. It is only another £1,500, which is inconsequential, I think, when you look at that 75 base. And it's a very, very versatile feature that really brings the Taycan into its own, having that adjustability and the comfort that the air suspension brings and the ability to lower it down, which can be better for range. Every other Taycan model comes with it as standard, and all the Cross Turismo range, because of course you can't get just the rear-wheel drive only in that flavour, only four-wheel drive. So, Smart Lift, let's get inside the car and have a look at what it's all about. Okay, so the first thing to note about the Smart Lift is essentially how much travel you've got, and it works on both the front and the rear wheels here, right? In the saloon, you get about 40 mils of travel from the lowest to the highest position. Okay, in the Cross Turismo, you get a little bit more. It's about 50 mil of travel from the lowest to the highest. And one thing to note is, as well, is in the normal position here, the Cross Turismo is already 20 mil higher than this, so it can get over the terrain. I believe the Sport Turismo is the same as this, which is the standard saloon. So that's the first thing to note. You get quite a bit of travel, 40 mil, 4 centimeters. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it kind of is. It does the job. Okay, so stepping inside the car, how do you get to Smart Lift? Well, if you get to your home screen here via the PCM, you should see all the options presented here, and you want to go into settings. Inside settings, you get access to all the different areas of control for your car. The one we're interested in is inside the car menu. This is things related to the car, the physical being of the car itself. In this menu, if you scroll down, you'll see that Smart Lift has a dedicated menu entry. And up here, you'll see it is enabled. It was enabled by default when I picked my car up. You can obviously turn it off here. My advice to you would be to leave it on. In here, you can also see stored locations. So these are locations where you've enabled the Smart Lift. All you can do to them, though, is rename them. You cannot delete them individually. So once they're in here, they're in here. The only way you can actually delete them is by going into this option here, and that will delete every single Smart Lift location you've got. So you'd have to go through the process of entering them all again, and it's not the easiest thing to do, as we'll find out when you're kind of driving along, in my opinion anyway. So once you've enabled your Smart Lift, how do you then raise the vehicle? Well, that is pretty straightforward. If you look over here, there is this button available on the dash, and you simply press this on and off, and you'll see there you've got this icon here telling you the car is doing something, in this case going down. So this is what actually raises and lowers the car, this button here, which you'll have if you've got the air suspension, and I don't know of any Taycans without this, as I said. So let's look at how this works when you're going along. So how do you activate your Smart Lift? Well, you're driving along and you hit your button here, right? So you click that button, and then on the menu here, you'll get a Smart Lift. You want to click save. That will then save this location. So whenever I get back here, the car will automatically raise up, provided you're going what I believe is under 10 miles an hour. I can't seem to get the Smart Lift to kick in unless I slow down to below 10 miles an hour. The lift itself will work up to 20 miles an hour. after which point it will then come down. There is no way to have the lift enabled above 20 miles an hour. So you must remember to get down below to 10 miles an hour, that 10 mile an hour speed, in order for the smart lift to kick in. If I'm in a smart lift location and I disable the lift here, I will get an option, because it knows where I am. Do I want to delete this location as a smart lift? So I can delete it, and then I will no longer have the smart lift activated in this location. So let's, for argument's sake, save that smart lift here. We've got smart lift in this location. If I turn around, I'm on private land here, so no other cars, all very safe and all that good stuff. If I get to above 20 miles an hour, you'll see that the blue light came off there and that disappeared. Now, it does this pretty subtly, so you have to remember that. If you've got the smart lift enabled and you want to keep it enabled, let's just say you're going down a road with lots of speed bumps, keep an eye on this and keep an eye on your speed. Do not go above 20 miles an hour, because the smart lift will disable and you're then liable to scrape the front of your car again. Now, Porsche have thought about this. They've got those sacrificial rubber trim elements that are pretty cheap to replace, so not too bad, but just something to bear in mind when you're going about your smart lift. Now, driving back to that location where I previously enabled smart lift below 10 miles an hour, we should find that the smart lift will kick in. And there it is. It has engaged. Pretty cool feature, and definitely use it if you've got it. So that is it for this one, guys. A quick look at the smart lift feature. Plenty more Taycan content to come. Hopefully helping you out, tour around the car, all its various features and capabilities. But the smart lift feature is pretty cool. I think if you're driving along on autopilot and you just kind of forget to raise the front, this is going to do it for you. So very nice little feature. But that's it. Do like, do subscribe, and I'll see you very soon on the next one. Bye for now.